We all look for significance and love to stand out. However, sometimes we just go overboard and get obsessed with the need for significance and project our false identity. If that is true, let's look at verse 24 from Tao Te Ching and understand the way of being humble. Hi, welcome back to Oneness. Today is day 24 and we will be looking at verse 24 from Tao Te Ching. As usual, before we begin, let's observe a few seconds of silence. Thank you. So now let's look at verse 24 from Tao Te Ching. Those who stand on a tiptoe are not steady. Those who stride cannot maintain the pace. Those who put on the show are not enlightened. Those who are self-righteous are not respected. Those who boast achieve nothing. Those who brag will not endure. According to the follower of the Tao, these are unnecessary food and baggage. They do not bring happiness. Therefore, followers of the Tao avoid them. So this verse, I like to call it as the way of being humble. So we can see it in our life that every one of us, we like to stand out and get a significance. However, when we just look around, the need for the significance sometimes feeds our own ego. When it feeds our ego, sometimes we also project our false identity just to get a good name, just be liked by people. And that also can bring to our own need for external validation. So in this verse, if we're not going to be humble and grateful for what we have, what is the consequence that we're going to face, as well as how we should stay humble is what Laotzu talks about. So let's get into the verse and see what Laotzu is telling us, how the way of being humble. So those who stand on tiptoe are not steady. So the first line is all about how to be grounded, how to be humble. So if we are standing on a tiptoe, we cannot be steady. With a simple push, we will fall down. Instead, if we are just steadily grounded with both our foot on the ground, we can be grounded and stay steady. And then those who stride cannot maintain the pace. If we are taking a long step, we cannot maintain the pace. That's why it is better to be humble and watch our take step by step mindfully instead of trying to run with the long steps. Those who put on a show are not enlightened. Those who are self-righteous are not respected. Those who boast achieve nothing. Those who brag will not endure. The first he talks about, sometimes people show, they kind of show off, right? It is not that he says that put on a show. Instead, I like to call it as show off. So that is a very typical thing that we can see it on a social media. So there was a documentary I was watching where they clearly show what we see on social media is not the true life. It is a false life or a false identity. Very few stay true to project themselves as they are. Then it goes like this. According to the followers of the Tao, these are unnecessary food and baggage. They do not bring happiness. Therefore, followers of Tao avoid them. What here he means is, if we show off, we are not enlightened, meaning we are not completely aware of what we are doing. We are just showing off this and that, but that is not being enlightened or being aware of our action. And likewise, when you're talking about self-righteousness, we are just trying to show our superiority over someone else. That is, we are morally superior than someone else, that comparison. And that will lead to not respect. That will lead to people will not respect us. And when we are talking about boasting and bragging, it is just to feed our own ego. And the love for the ego is such that we want more and more. And the moment people stop giving likes and they show their appreciation, we start to feel sad. Because that happiness is actually coming from someone else. It is not the state which we can maintain inside. And that is why it is not so right to expect someone else to like us. So instead of bragging and boasting about ourselves, it is always good that we can show the work that we are doing. If you are an artist, post your art. If you are a musician, post your music work. And that is with an intention to reach out to people, not to boast excessively. It is not to get affected to those boasting things, because that will also lead to failure or fall. When I say failure or fall, think of this. Sometimes we tend to follow celebrities. And the moment the celebrities talks about their achievement and success, we shower our comments and all the good wishes to them. However, the same celebrity gets into some kind of a scandal. What we do? We all of a sudden we show the negative emotion to them. We criticize them for their behavior and action. So that is where being a celebrity is tough, because there is a constant ego need to maintain their false identity. And when I say false identity, I didn't mean everyone does it. Some people do it and some they don't. They show their true self. So when it comes to you and me, it is very important to show our true identity to the world. Whatever happens, that's what it is. And instead of bragging and boasting, we can stay humble. And we can feel gratitude for everything that we have in our life and gently be grateful for it. That way, we can be aligned with Tao, the way of nature. And that's also the reason why the people who follow Tao, they think this as a baggage. So that let go of all these things. Let go of your self-righteousness, show off, bragging and boasting. Instead, stay humble. So that's what the verse 24 is all about. So with that, we come to an end of verse 24. And one actionable thought for today is, look for an action within yourself. Are you craving for attention or kind of bragging about your achievements to someone? If it is, try to take a mindful action about how can I be content with my own self instead of expecting someone else to like or comment and love my action and deeds. Instead, be content. Be with who you are. Stay humble. And instead of showing off, be humble. Instead of bragging and boasting, stay humble. And that way, you will be at much more of a peace and you will not be shaken by someone else. So with that, let's end day 24. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.